I want to hold on to that last phrase. Let's let it be. Let's pause for a moment. And I invite you, if you wish, to close your eyes and just let it be. So, the title of my talk, Be Born Anew. And I thought, should I do it or not? But why not, right? I usually do it, so I'll start with a question. What do you call a newborn baby? Anything you want. Ta-da! No, anyway. So when I was asked to come up with a title for the theme for this month, which is to have a new life, I thought, be born anew, right? Why not? And as I started working on my talk, I was considering all the things that I was going to talk about, letting go of the limits, letting go of your old self, removing the blocks to love's awareness, as A Course in Miracles tells us, bless you. But I couldn't get my thoughts arranged in a kind of a nice composition, and it came to me. Why? Why do we need to have a new life? Why do we need to be born anew? I want you to consider that. Why? I don't know if you're thinking this, but I thought, this sounds to me like there's something wrong with us. Like there's something we need to fix. And we get caught up throughout our lives trying to fix ourselves. Has anybody else besides me been there? If you're not raising your hands, you're not being truthful. I'm just going to tell you right now. Why do we think that we need to fix ourselves when actually the book that we say we follow tells us the opposite? We read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. I mean, yes, it's the very beginning of the Bible, right? We read, so God created humans in His image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. So if we're created in the image and likeness of God, as we read in Genesis, why do we need to rise to a new life? Why do we need to be born again? If we are created in the image and likeness of God, doesn't it mean, and yes, I'm going to say it, doesn't it mean that we're perfect? Doesn't it mean that there is nothing to fix? How you feel about that? Are you saying this so-and-so is full of you know what up there? Think about it. I mean, we claim to go by what the Bible says, and yes, not everything we need to agree with, but if the Bible itself is telling us that we are born, that we are created in the image and likeness of God, and what do we say about God? God is perfect, right? God is all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present. But yet we walk around trying to fix ourselves. And I'm not saying that I haven't done it. I already said I've been there. And I dare say I'm still doing it, right? Aren't we all? So why do you think that we feel the need to be fixing ourselves? She took the words right out of my mouth. The truth is that we have forgotten, right? I'm sure you've all, well, I'm not going to say all, but maybe most of you have heard that idea that our souls, before we come into this physical world, into this body, that we are made to forget whatever we knew of who we are. And if we want to go even further, if you believe in reincarnation, that in a previous life we die and we go as a soul, and then when we are to be sent back, and I'm picturing an image, and I don't remember the movie, that one of the angels of sorts would just tap the person on their forehead. Think about it. The center, the middle eye, the single eye. And then that soul forgets whatever they experienced before and then come into the world anew. I'm actually remembering a thought, and I like to think that if I felt that it was real, because I've been working on my spiritual work for a very long time. And I have two girls, they're in their mid-20s now. The youngest one, when she was just a baby, and I remember her on the bed, and she was squirming and like trying to stretch and everything. And this feeling, this thought came over me that she was thinking to herself, why can't I move? Why am I stuck in this little body that doesn't do anything? I really experienced that, and I like to think that it was true. Because at that moment, she was still remembering where she came. Maybe what she used to be back in the day. And I may not have said it up front here before, but when she started speaking, when she started being able to say words, once in a while, out of the blue, she would just start mumbling something. And I wish I knew the language, but I can swear to you that she was speaking Greek. I wish I'd had a chance to record it so I can go to a Greek speaker and say, hey, what is she saying here? Right? I really believe that in a way, yes, we all have past lives. And believe it or not, for those who haven't thought about it, the Bible talks about reincarnation too. But I'm going to say in the normal realm, they don't talk about that. Jesus himself mentioned about John the Baptist. And he basically was telling his disciples that John the Baptist was Elijah, reincarnated, bringing news about him, Jesus. And yes, the more I grow into my spiritual awareness, I truly believe there's something to that. That we come into this world, but somehow we are, I'm going to say, led to forget where we came from. Anybody else agree with me, just in case? Am I the only crazy one in here? Okay. All right. We're all crazy, and that's fine. Okay? So, We come into this world, we forget who we are, and then we spend the rest of our lives attempting to remember who we truly are, right? And I'm going to dare say that not all of us do that, right? There are certain people that we may know or have come across that don't really think much of doing spiritual work for themselves because they don't think there's anything to it. But I have also experienced from everything I've read, people that I've listened to, they have been, and I'm just gonna mention it. There are two ex-scientists, I'm gonna call them, who started their work in purely physical stuff, researches. Who has heard of Dr. Bruce Lipton? Oh, wonderful. Most of you haven't. Get his book, The Biology of Belief. I actually had the chance to meet him one time. I used to work at the convention center, and there was a show back in the day, and they're still around, but they don't come here. Or I don't think, maybe they stopped doing it, but it was called I Can Do It. And maybe a couple of you may have witnessed it or been there. And they had everybody from Wayne Dyer to, I'm spacing on the lady that did Abraham. Esther Hicks, yes. And I got to meet Bruce Lipton too. It was funny because I knew that he was going to be having his presentation in one of the rooms. And being that I worked there, I went right before he started, before anybody walked in, and he was getting ready. And because, yes, I used to do audio in the building, so I was dressed just like the rest of the AV guys in a black shirt, black pants. And I went up to him, and he went to tell me, yes, what can I do, And I'm like, oh, no, I'm just here to say thank you for what you're doing. And he was kind of curious, like, oh, I have a fan. It's like, so yes, we come here. Oh, yes, so I was at the other person, and you probably know this person, Greg Braden. He's a little better known if you're not there. Again, look him up. He's got amazing, I'm going to say he's got an amazing brain that he has developed into more of a spiritual realm. Because I truly believe that even though if we start intellectually, and I mean, I got to say, I did the same thing, right? Intellectually, you start thinking there's got to be more to this. You may or may not remember me talking about how the reason I started feeling like I didn't belong anywhere is because my first 13 years of my life were spent in Colombia, where I was born. And then I moved to New York City. In the first few years, I didn't feel right there. And I forget if it was 2 or 3 years after I went back to Colombia to visit. And I was so happy to go back. And yes, even though I met my friends again and my family, I realized I didn't belong there either anymore. Things had changed. My friends, some of them were married or moved on, did other things. And I had to come back from my vacation to New York and try to make it work in New York. But as you've heard me say before, I remember the very first day I arrived in New York, a thought popped in my head that said, you're going to leave New York sometime soon. And it took 14 years, but I did. I ended up here in Orlando. And being here in Orlando is what got me started into my spiritual work. I started reading Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, I've talked about. And yes, even Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. And that led me to, guess what? Unity, right? I came here, and when I found Unity, technically is when I found A Course in Miracles as well. and I started working on that. And I've been working, I'm going to say, it's been about 21 years since I found unity. And I've been working on trying to remember myself, to be born anew, so that I don't feel like I don't belong anymore. And I know there are some of you that have had some experiences here where maybe similar or different, where you felt like you didn't belong anywhere. But guess what? I am grateful that I started feeling that, because that made me want to search within me to see who I truly was, who I came here to be. I've mentioned it before that one of the classes I took here was from Edwin Gaines. Who knows Edwin Gaines anyway? Yes. And I'm just pasting on her book right now. The Four Spiritual Laws. The four, yeah. Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And in there she has a chapter where it specifically says finding your purpose. And when I came up to that chapter, I was doing the class, and I'm like, I'm gonna actually really focus on see if I truly can find my purpose by doing what it says in this chapter. And I think it did happen, because right after that chapter, it came to me that I was here to help others find their purpose, and I intellectualized it as, I'm here to help others find their purpose because it took me so long to find mine. And I had no idea how that was going to happen, but I think it's happening now. I have become a unity minister. I've taught classes. I've done workshops. Before doing this, I was a prayer chaplain. And right now, I have the pleasure of leading the prayer chaplain team in this very building. And I'm grateful for that. So yes, it's not just about trying to find where we came from or not, but it's really to live, to embody the true source of what we are. We keep talking about, and we kind of throw that phrase like it's nothing. God is my source. Be honest, who has said this here or thought about it? Now, when do we mostly say that God is my source? When we're hoping for prosperity and abundance, right? But it's not just about that, right? It's about knowing that you are part of that source. And I want to add about how we talk about love being synonymously with God, right? And I'll mention how it's not just unity, it's not just Christianity. All the main different religions talk about how love and God are related. And I'll just mention here, Shinto declares love is the representative of the Lord. Hinduism says one can best worship the Lord through love. And you guys have heard of Judaism, right? Admonishes in Deuteronomy 6:5, and you've heard this one, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And in Leviticus 19:18, we also hear, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, right? And guess what? We take that into Christianity, right? We read in Matthew 22 that when they asked Jesus what's the greatest commandment, he actually mentions these very laws. Love God and love your neighbor. And we go on further in Christianity. In 1 John 4:16, we read, God is love. actually says God is love. But that's not the end of the sentence. We read, God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. What do you think that is saying? I think it's pretty straightforward, right? God is love, and therefore we are love. And if we abide in God, God abides in us. Does that leave us separate from God at all? Should we be asking, what do I need to fix at that point? Should we be asking, how can I find myself? I would like to leave you with something I got from A Course in Miracles that, I always keep bringing back A Course in Miracles because it really talks to me. But before I do that, I want to remind us that if you still need to fix yourself, to be born anew, guess what? The Bible tells us what to do once again. And it is the simplest thing that we could possibly do. And I'm going to say it's simple, but it's not always easy. And we get this from Matthew 6:33. And some of you, I'm sure, if not all of you, have heard this already. And this comes after the paragraph talking about do not worry about what you will wear, what you will eat, what you will drink. At the end of that, this wraps it up. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Does it say most of these things or some of these things? What does it say? All of these things, right? So that doesn't leave anything else out. So why do we worry about anything? Why do we think that we have to be born anew? That we have to live a new life? How about coming to the consciousness that you are right here, right now? You've heard me say it before, and you've heard it from everybody else, I'm sure. The past is gone, right? The future is yet to come, and really never comes, does it? If I say that tomorrow is the future, and I show up here tomorrow, Monday, I am in the present moment, right? So where did the future go? It never existed, right? The past doesn't exist. So let's focus on being conscious of who and what you are right here, right now, knowing that there is nothing that you could do to be separate from your higher self, from your Christ self, from God, from the universe. Call it whatever it is that you want to call it. And keep focusing on following that divine guidance. And I dare say you won't have to worry about what to do or what to say or even what to be. I want to leave you with these words. And this is, yes, I said, from A Course in Miracles. And I want you to really listen to them and try to just feel into them. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. All concepts you have learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. This is not going to be easy, but empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, or every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world. Forget this course. And come with wholly empty hands unto your God. Thank you. Let's go on to meditation. If you wish to close your eyes and just relax right where you are. Don't worry about any thoughts that are coming through. Just let them be. No need to fix anything or anyone right now. Just become aware of your breath as it flows gently in and out. Let's become aware of our body right here, right now. Maybe your feet on the ground, how they feel on the floor. Your spine against the back of the chair. If you feel your facial muscles clenching, just relax them. Know that we are all here in divine order. To commune with each other, to come together, to experience our connection, our oneness, our wholeness. I want you to become aware of your heart right now. Knowing that this is our divine center of love. When we point to where we are, when we say, "Where are you?" we point to our heart. We know that intuitively. Now we know that if this is our love center, this is our God center. We do not need to look outside for God, search anywhere. Just look within. The law of the prophets is written in your hearts, right where you are. That Christ within is in your heart, right here, right now. What we call the Holy Spirit, right in your heart. Notice that we are all focusing on our hearts right here, right now, in this room. We are multiplying its power. I would like us to take this power of love, of life, of light, and start spreading it between each of us right here, right now. Let it multiply in power. And just imagine that it extends from this room, from this church, into the city around us, all over the state, all over our country, spreading all over the globe as we focus on the love, the life, the light that we are, as we embrace anything and everyone that we think of with this love, with this life, with this light. I want you to know that you have indeed enveloped the whole world in your connection with the divine, with God, with Source. And nobody is a stranger here, anywhere. Keep holding on to that feeling. Keep washing the globe in this love as we go into the silence. Keep focusing on that image as you start coming back into the awareness of your body right here, right now. Know that when we leave this room, this sanctuary, this church, for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, we are not leaving anyone behind, because we truly are one and the same. You are all God's. You are all individual selves of that oneness that we call divine source, that we call God, that we call Yahweh. And as you slowly start coming back into the room, wiggling your toes, your fingers, maybe open your eyes and say with me, I am as God created me. Together? I am as God created me, and so it is.